I'm going to read a passage from the Epistle of St. John, the first Epistle of St. John, chapter 3. For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we love one another, not as Cain, who was of the wicked one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his works were evil and his brother's righteous. Do not marvel, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death to life, because we love the brethren. He who does not love his brother abides in death. Whoever hates his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him. By this we know love, because he laid down his life for us, and we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoever has this world's goods and sees his brother in need and shuts up his heart from him, how does the love of God abide in him? My little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And glory be to God forever. Amen. First of all, I wasn't supposed to talk this night. Someone else should have given this talk, but unfortunately, and I'm sorry for you that you're going to listen to me, but anyway, the thing that touched me a lot, and I thought to share it with you, is something that happened today. Maybe about at 1 p.m. today. I'm signed up in a network, a social network of the neighborhood where I live. It has people from Hoffman Estates, Palatine, Schaumburg. I think these are mainly the neighborhood where people are registered on this network. People would ask, I need an electrician. Do you recommend someone? I need to repair my fridge. Do you recommend? And people start to post that, yeah, I know this guy is a good guy. We tried him and he did a good job. So the post for today was a little bit different. And I'm going to read it to you. This is very hard for me. Someone is writing this. This is very hard for me to post. We are struggling right now and have no groceries. We have no groceries for Christmas break or Christmas dinner. The kids are not in school. They are on holiday break, school. School breakfast and lunch is not an option. Does anyone know where we can get resources? People among us, they don't have grocery to feed their kids. I mean, people around us, real people. And they posted their address if anyone wanted to help. The good news is, in 3 hours, there was 54 comments, and I think now they got to 75 comments. People were telling, yeah, you can get food from this place, from this church. And some and many, they said, how can we help? And actually, few hours later, the lady who posted this post, she put a lot of other posts saying, God bless you, thank you, please, we had enough, more than enough now. We got a lot of food, we got a lot of things. People would say, okay, I think you got a lot of food now. How about the gifts of Christmas? What can we do? I have a gift card from Kohl's. Can I give it to you? I mean, it was very nice that people would show that amount of love. This is what motivated me to talk about this passage from the Epistle of St. John. And when I thought, would this be relevant for a night like this one? I mean, we should talk about praises. We should talk about St. Mary. But when I thought of St. Mary, I found that she's a perfect example of that love. And I opened the passage that is read throughout the 4 Sundays of of Kahk, which is from Luke chapter 1. So the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 1, we read this chapter throughout the 4 Sundays of Kahk, but part in each Sunday until we finish the chapter. So I looked in this chapter and I found something interesting. What is the first thing? We know that what is famous on this chapter? Let me ask you first. What is the most famous thing on this chapter? What is very famous on the chapter 1 of the Gospel of St. Luke? Ideas? The Annunciation? Okay. The Annunciation. What else? Have you heard of the Magnificat? Have you heard of this? The Magnificat is the prayer of St. Mary, right? It's very famous. Very, very famous prayer. But the question is, did she go to serve Elizabeth before or after the prayer? Did she say the prayer after the Annunciation or after the Annunciation, or did she go to serve first? I think you can assume from the context that she served first, and that's exactly what she did. Right after her talk, her conversation was with Archangel Gabriel, it is said that she went immediately, I think immediately or something like that, or quickly. She went quickly to Elizabeth to help her, to serve her, to show love. And it wasn't something she has learned. It's something very instinct, something very natural, something very from the inside. She went to serve. And there, when Elizabeth met her and told her that how come the mother of my God would come to me, then she prayed the Magnificat. So I think St. Mary is a great example of showing that love. And I mean, I thought what can be a relevant message to us on such a night where we enjoy the praises. We feel that we are in heaven. We feel that we are all praising God for His great love to us, that He accepted to be born from a virgin, to come to this world. The Creator would become a creation. The Creator would become weak on the hands of His mother, a mother who is created by His hands. He accepted all of that for nothing else except love. How much should we react to love one another? That's why the passage that I read, it revolves about that and around that we need to love one another, not in tongue, not in word, but by deed and in truth. We love by showing and providing for the needs of people who are around us. I was glad that today the church had a food pantry and reached out to, and I've heard that many came to take from the food pantry of the church. But I'm saying there is people around us who need to see God's love, the goodness that God put in each and every one of us. I know the world is not the perfect place. There is a lot of sufferings. There is also a lot of violence and hatred. But that's the burden on Christians, that they are the ones who should show that Christ is good, and He granted this goodness to His followers. And He granted, you might say, okay, but not all the people who showed this goodness are Christians. Maybe this is true. But because there is goodness in each and every human being, which is coming from God. However, violence and hatred is never from Him. If we went back to the first story of the fall of man, Adam and Eve fell by eating from a tree that is called the tree of the tree of life. He fell because he ate from the tree of life. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And since that time, man is in a conflict between, he became into a duality between good and evil, into a conflict. However, Jesus came to tell us that you are not from the evil, you are from me. That's why follow me. I showed you the ultimate love by dying for you, and you should do the same. There is people around us, I think if I want to conclude my talk, there is people around us of all kinds who are in need. One, we should show them God's love, and we need to look for those people. Those people live in our neighborhoods. They live around us. They might be in the church. The needs might be different, by the way. I mean, maybe it touches us a lot when someone is in need for groceries. They don't have something to eat. And by the way, some of the lady replied to some of the people who offered help. She said, "We don't need money. We just need food." I mean, it breaks the heart when someone is in need of food, just food. However, there is people around us who are in need of a tap on the shoulder. There is people around us who need some compassion, some love, some care, listening. There is people who needs just to listen. Go visit someone who is an elder, an old people, an old man or a woman. The experience I had when I go visit someone who is old, I try to read a passage from the Bible. They don't give me the chance to read or to comment on it. You know why? You know why? Why? Because they need to talk. They don't talk to anyone. They don't talk to anyone. So when someone visits them, they're not waiting for a sermon to listen to, but they're waiting for someone to listen to them. I'm saying those people are around us. And if we are really grateful for what God did for us, for His coming to our broken world, I think the best thing we can do is to show love and compassion to people who are around us and in need of all kind of needs. And one last thing, I think we should be thankful for what we have. We have a lot of things and we take them for granted, and maybe we are grumbling and complaining and we need more, we are not happy with what we have, and maybe the least we have is there is people who are in need of it. Even the breath of air. I can't forget when during my 40 days after ordination, one of my servants, Sunday school teachers, he had lung cancer and he died when I was in the 40 days. But I remember one of the priests, I was in the monastery, but one of the priests who went to visit him, he said he was struggling for a breath of air. A breath of air. Even the breath of air we are breathing is a gift from God. We need to be thankful for it. I think if we are praising the love of God and His humility to come from the Virgin Saint Mary, and we praise Saint Mary because she was chosen among all women to be the one who will bear the Son of God, and from whom He will become incarnate. I think if we are doing that, the best reaction, the best thing we do, yes, we should praise, but also our praises be interpreted in in showing love to everyone. And again, there is a lot of people around us who are in need, and glory be to God forever. Amen.